The following is a slightly modified version of Brendan Cooney's words on abstract labor, adapted to be spoken. The link to the original text will be in the description. As this series has argued, although labor can be considered abstractly in any mode of production, it is only in the capitalist mode of production that labor is treated abstractly in practice. This understanding is then crucial for the project of specifying what would be necessary to break with the capitalist mode of production and create a new society based on the needs of people rather than the needs of capital. Labor in a capitalist society is only counted as social labor to the extent that it is socially necessary labor. In a communist society, each individual's labor would be counted as social labor immediately and fully without having to be mediated through a process of social averaging. Thus, it would not be the case that labor was only counted as social labor in the most abstract sense. Rather, a communist society would treat concrete labor as social labor. With this understanding that a communist society would treat concrete labor as social labor, we can then ask what sort of social relations and what organization of production would be necessary for this to be the case. For one, labor must cease to be a matter of indifference to the worker. This implies that workers are not divorced from the means of production, only encountering the means of production when they sell their labor to capital. Rather, workers must be in control of the means of production and shape the labor process in a way that makes their work meaningful and easier. Society must not be geared towards the production of abstract value for its own sake. Rather, communism must aim to provide use values for people and to organize the labor process in such a way that work becomes life's prime want. The picture of a communist society without abstract labor, which begins to emerge when one accepts Marx's notion of abstract labor as real work rendered abstract by the peculiar sociality of capitalist production, contrasts starkly with the picture of communism that can be deduced from the value form interpretation of abstract labor, in which the labor is rendered abstract in exchange. In the latter case, it is the market that is the defining feature of capitalism, and thus a planned society which eliminates markets also eliminates abstract labor. This says nothing about the nature of work itself. A planned society could be just as degrading for workers. Workers could still be compelled to work at the socially necessary labor time, and labor could still be treated abstractly in the sense that labor is only counted as social to the extent that it is an average expenditure of physical work. The difference in these two notions of abstract labor plays a big role in the debate over whether the 20th century communism of the USSR, China, etc., constituted an actual break with the capitalist mode of production, or whether these societies were just planned capitalism. Rather than labor against capital, labor against markets, it should be labor against abstract labor. In this way, we can create a truly free and liberated society.